I could sit here for an hour, just like the Espa Armageddon video, and talk about how good this song is and the production and its success and what it means for the group, but I'm not. Instead, we're going to be focusing on the music video and the way it makes me feel, which is creeped out. This music video makes me feel creeped out. You could say maybe even a little terrified, the title of the video. I believe there's this comprehensive story happening in the music video, but I'm not actually going to talk about that. And I know that sounds counterintuitive to the point of this video. We're going to be talking about why Cosmic makes me feel terrified and what terror actually is. But honestly, the story that's happening in this music video doesn't really have an impact on that. Instead, I want to touch on more of the composition of the music video, the framing, the shots, the styling, the lighting. All of that weighs just as heavily into how this music video makes me feel as the story would. And I'm just going to be honest, I don't even know what the fuck is happening half the time in this music video. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I understand piece for piece what's happening in this music video in regards to the members of Red Velvet, because I don't. And honestly, I don't care, because it doesn't really impact the way that this music video makes me feel, which honestly just makes this music video even better. The fact that this music video can make me feel this sort of way just from the composition, I think speaks to the incredible quality that the director Hae-in Lee, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, the person who directed this music video, put just so much time and care. And obviously we'll get to the inspiration, but Hae-in Lee also directed the music video for Brought the Heat Back by Enhypen, which I think is a really good music video as well. So first, I'm going to cover two things. Let's cover what this music video is inspired by and how that kind of impacts my feelings towards the music video, and also the difference between horror and terror, because they're two different concepts, and it's a concept and like a subject that I'm very passionate about. I don't know why. I just really love talking about terror. But first, let's just point out the elephant in the room. This is inspired by the 2019 horror film Midsommar. There's actually a great Reddit thread, which I'll link down below, that shows literally the shot-for-shot comparisons in this music video. There's a lot of them. If you watch the movie and then watch this music video, you'll probably catch some. So I'll link that down below if you want to see that in a little bit more detail. I truly think this is only something Red Velvet can pull off, and that's because a lot of their previous music videos have a sense of abject creepiness to them, and I honestly want to make an entire video covering it, because they have a few of the music videos, like most certainly Chill Kill, like I think that's the obvious one, but like there is this underlying creepiness to a lot of their music videos. I mean, Peekaboo's another one as well that I just want to make an entire video about and talk about, because they just pull it off so well. Like there are some groups like Dreamcatcher, who I love Dreamcatcher, literally my old groups, but they play with horror themes and scary concepts a little bit more on the sleeve. Like you get it. We see giant spiders in their music videos and a lot of dark colors, and like they do what they do really well. But like Red Velvet, they do something different. And the terror concepts they play with in their music videos, that's the shit I really like. That's the shit that gets under my skin. And a big part of me gets excited when watching K-pop music videos that make me feel uneasy or nerved in a way like this, because it's different. Like it's exciting because I'm not watching the same K-pop tropes, the same music video tropes from the genre time in and time out, which I see all the time from all different groups. It's not a one group thing, it's all groups. They kind of pick and choose which different concepts they want to play with, but no group to my memory has done something like this. And it's so Red Velvet. Of course it's Red Velvet that does this. Like, okay, I'm rambling. Let's talk about horror versus terror, because I feel like so many people wrap up what terror is into horror, kind of like falls under the horror umbrella, to the point where a lot of these horror movies aren't really horror movies, they're terror-based movies, but like, I don't know, I guess that just doesn't really roll off the tongue as well. Like Midsommar as a movie, for example, it's a horrifying movie to watch. Like there are parts that use horror very objectively, but I actually think a lot more of the movie is terrifying to me. It's a lot more creepy and an unnerving and a unknown sort of way. So horror versus terror, I'm not going to give you some sort of Webster dictionary definition or Wikipedia definition. I'm just going to give you kind of an example of both. Horror is a FNAF jump scare. So that feeling of immediate fear when a scary monster, person, event is happening in front of your eyes, you are experiencing it, and it's also kind of the feeling after that event happens. So when you get jump scared, your heart races really fast, you may scream. I mean, we all played Five Nights at Freddy at one point. What you're experiencing is horror. Horror is very visceral, it's very visual, it's quantifiable, which is kind of the key thing. Terror is really the complete opposite. It's jumping into the ocean, looking down and seeing nothing, no bottom, just blue, right? A lot of the roots of thalassophobia are based in terror, the unknown, knowing that there is a great white shark somewhere below you, but you just can't see it, okay? And like the great white shark itself may be horrifying when it, swims past you, but when you can't see it, and you don't know where it is. That's the terrifying part. Terror is typically unquantifiable. You can't comprehend it at a human level. It's why the Cthulhu mythos is, rooted in a lot of terror rather than horror. Terror latches itself onto humans' innate tendency to try to fill in the blanks, right? So when you're walking down a street, dead of night, you hear a twig snap behind you, what does your brain immediately try to do? Oh, is that a person? Is it an animal, a dog? The answer you were missing there, your brain is trying to fill that in, because the thought of it not being filled in is even creepier. Not knowing what's there is the real fear. I think horror versus terror is a really interesting psychological concept to talk about. I wrote an entire paper for my English class a few years back talking about terror and its relation with Subnautica. I don't know if anyone's played that game. If you've played Subnautica, you will get this next reference. If you haven't, just bear with me. Also, play it. It's not that expensive, and it's genuinely one of my favorite video games of all time. I've replayed this game like 8 times. My unresolved marine biologist dream lives through watching reefbacks just glide all day. Anyways, horror is seeing the Reaper Leviathan. Terror is hearing it. All right, we're like 6 minutes in. I haven't even fucking talked about the music video for Cosmic yet, but let's actually get into why I find this music video to use terror rather than horror. And it all starts with this first panel, and what the fuck is that? Okay, for this one part of the music video, I will contradict myself. This, face in the tree is creepy as shit, and that would fall under more of a horror lens, but also kind of terror, because why does it look like that? What is the difference here? What is the relationship between the two faces? After this introductory shot, we see someone literally fall through a tree and land, and Solgi finds this person. What I want to point out about this shot specifically that makes me feel uneasy is, why is the shot so dim? Why is it so dark? And I know you're like, well, Rob, the fucking weather. But the lighting here feels very intentional when compared to Solgi's bright violet purple-esque dress. And as we see this person essentially hauled back to wherever they're being kept by the Red Velvet cult, we see the Red Velvet members mimic this with different brighter dresses, but again, the whole setting feels very dim and almost lifeless in a way, which is ironic because we're in a forest. The way the members will glance at the camera is just very intentional and very creepy. They know something the viewer does not. And that's what's creepy. This shot of the camera spinning and Irene piercing into your soul, something's not right there. Even the shot when Red Velvet is putting together some sort of dress or something, maybe for this character, and the character is spying on them, there's this false sense of security. There's these very soft colors, these beiges and pinks and blues and such, but it just doesn't feel right to me. It feels like something menacing is happening that we don't know about, and the character is staring at them, and then Wendy catches them, and it's just very creepy. Here's a fun drinking game. Take a shot every time I say creepy. That was a joke. I do not condone that. That is a bad idea. And I could be overanalyzing it. Maybe they are just making dresses in this giant chamber. But for Red Velvet standards, that seems too simple. One thing I'd also like to point out is this red light following them. It swarms this room at one point that they're dancing in, and then throughout the music video, they dress it red in one point. It's seen throughout, this kind of sun-esque imagery. And honestly, to me, that's giving godlike energy. These Red Velvet members, they're gods, or they're revered as being gods, or I could be off base with that one. But again, this isn't necessarily a comprehensive analysis. This is kind of just what I interpreted. Also, a lot of shots with this after image effect. The shot where the head kind of whips back. There's a few other shots where there's this almost clear after image-esque effect that is almost superimposed on the image, and it feels a lot like maybe a psychedelic trip, which is a huge factor in Midsommar. There's also this shot where Yeri is sitting in this bed full of plants that's writhing around, and it's just so creepy and unnatural. Also, Solgi standing in the middle of a bunch of cult members swaying back and forth. Yeah, that shit's not creepy at all. One of the best scenes in the entire music video is when the character is running past this setup Red Velvet has in the middle of this path with a table and cabinet and stuff, and they're all just staring at this person as they run by. and it's so easy to miss before a split frame, Solgi darts after this person. Joy set this trap in the woods, and when the person falls down, it cuts to a shot of Irene staring down at this person. It's all giving cult. It's giving cult vibes. The flower crown thing, the flowers over the eyes, the hands reaching up towards this orange glowing source of light. And the best shot, we see a similar shot in Midsommar as well. All of these cult members, essentially, let's call them what they are, dancing around this pole structure. And it's so well done because I've seen Midsommar, and I know a lot of people who watch this music video probably did too. And you're just like, wow, this is the money shot. This is crazy. And at first glance, it seems happy, right? There's people dancing, there's bright colors. I think, again, it's that false sense of security. This final selection of shots feels like a warm heating blanket with knives on the inside. It just doesn't sit right with me. And that's what this music video does so well. I'm constantly asking questions throughout the entire music video. What happens to the person? What was the purpose? What were the girls doing? Were they just making a dress for this person? Was that the entire point? But like, it doesn't feel like it's as shallow as that. It definitely goes deeper. What's up with all the creepy imagery? What's up with Irene kissing a wall? And I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation, but my brain is trying to fill in holes that are bottomless here. Cosmic by Red Velvet is far from the scariest thing I've ever seen. But on the first few watches, and even now, I still feel a little terrified while watching this music video. And you know what? That's fucking rad. That's cool. And this is the first time I've ever watched a K-pop music video and felt some level of terror. Ever. No other K-pop music video has ever made me feel that. Because really, that's not the point of a lot of K-pop music videos. The purpose of a lot of K-pop music videos is to show off the climactic moments of a song and the choreography and the styling, but Cosmic does that all too. Like, this is a very creepy music video, but it also just nails the momentous parts, like during the end of the bridge and the high note with Wendy and how it ascends into that classic shot. It all works perfectly well. Like, I had a euphoric experience watching this music video for the first time. I'm not even joking. I know this sounds a little crazy, but I felt happy that a K-pop music video terrified me in some way, because that's a group trying something new. In a year full of trend-chasing, repetitive garbage, Red Velvet drops one of the best songs I've ever heard, and also probably one of the best K-pop music videos I've ever watched. This is my definitive music video of the year because it literally made me feel things no other K-pop music video has made me feel, and that is a testament to its quality. I will say Trigger from The Boys does give it some stiff competition. It's just so objectively good looking. I remember Roar from The Boys. That was such a delicious music video. But Cosmic by Red Velvet is this marriage between two mediums that you just don't think are compatible on first glance. Like, are we sure this is the same group that stars in Red Flavor and Power Up? Cosmic, not only as a song, but really as an entire comeback, is a marriage between their Red and Velvet concepts. Like, the undertones, the roots of this music video with its terror elements, and the song itself, the instrumentation, find themselves more on the Velvet spectrum for me, right? Like, the strings in the song are giving like a more lighthearted Psycho feel, whereas the visuals of the album and just the vibe of the song are definitely leaning more in like a red direction, right? A lot of the bright colors in the music video with the dresses they wear and that final shot and such. Like, it's kind of weaving the Velvet and the Red concepts together in a kind of horror-esque way, which is pretty cool. It almost feels as if it's a Velvet concept masquerading itself as a Red concept, which I think is so fucking cool. Friendly reminder, Red Velvet's a group in their 10th year, and they are innovating on their concept. Like, they are fucking trailblazers. Please appreciate Red Velvet now while they're still a group. I'm talking to USM too, because you love to just fuck up their promotions. It's a similar vibe to like LeBron James in the NBA right now. Like, people are just not appreciating what he's doing enough, just like how I don't think people are appreciating Red Velvet and what they are doing right now enough, because it is just insane. Anyway, my rant is over. Stay tuned for another Red Velvet based video coming out. That one is more of a proper essay, and that video will be a vibe switch, so be prepared. Like, we talked about some more creepy stuff today. That's definitely going to be more on the lighthearted side. Again, a lot of what I've covered here is my interpretation of Cosmic as a comeback in general, so if you disagree, feel free to let me know in the comments. That's perfectly okay. Hopefully you all enjoyed this stream, Red Velvet, and I will see you guys in the next video.